Hello everyone, I Dr. Ajay Kumar Sharma welcome you in the lecture of IC engine fuel and lubricants. Today's topic is engine emission and control. This is the topic of unit 4 of IC engine, the subject code for the subject code, and till now we have covered 3 units. In different units we have covered numericals and theoretical approaches of how the engine works and its combustion, its components and all these things. In this lecture we will cover, in this unit we will cover the engine emission and its control. We all know that engine is a prime mover which gives you power output by using some form of input energy, and that input energy is the chemical combustion. So, the output is not only the power, you all know that the in output engine also give you the emissions. These are the products of combustion. So, the engine emission and control is very much necessities in nowadays. So, this is the contents for today's lecture: pollutant, sources and types, effect on environment and human health, formation of oxides of nitrogens, NOx, hydrocarbon emission mechanism. So, first of all, pollutant, sources and types. So, what is pollutant? Pollutant is that matter which contaminate the environment, the atmosphere. So, pollutant is a substance that pollutes something, especially water or the atmosphere. It can enter the environment naturally, such as from volcanic eruptions or through human activities such as burning coal and gasoline. Pollutant affects on humans and environment. They are very much harmful. So, emission control system in automobiles means employed to limit the discharged noxious gases from the internal combustion engine and other components. So, there are 3 main sources of these gases: the engine exhaust, the crankcase and the fuel tank and carburetor. So, before starting, first of all, engine is classified as heat engine is classified as internal combustion and external combustion engine. So, external combustion engines and internal combustion, the one thing is common, that combustion will be there. Combustion is the chemical reaction, complete oxidation of the fuel. The fuel may be conventional or unconventional. So, if fuel will burn, something will burn, what will happen? It emits smoke, it emits carbon dioxide, because the fuel is having hydrocarbons. That fuel may be liquid, that fuel may be gaseous, that fuel may be solid. For example, coal is a solid fuel, liquid, petrol, diesel, LPG, CNG are the gaseous fuels. So, when they are burned either in internal combustion engine, just like in automobile, or either they burn in external combustion engine like in thermal power plants or in incinerators or some in furnaces. If they burn, definitely they emits the gases. These gases are very much harmful. Some of the gases I have already told you: carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, because the carbon is the element of the fuel. So, when it combusted, it gives oxides. If this combustion is incomplete, then it will give you carbon monoxide. If the combustion is complete, it will give you carbon dioxide. Then it is not necessary that combustion efficiency is 100%. It depends on lots of parameters. Combustion efficiency, you can understand that suppose you are given a fuel and it is burned, and if it is burned efficiently means it gives complete conversion into the useful form of energy, the efficiency is 100%, but because the combustion efficiency can never be 100%. So, there will be some unburned hydrocarbons will be there. Also fuels is having nitrogen in its chemical structure. So, when it combusted at very high temperature, the nitrogen present will convert it into the oxides of nitrogen. So, nitrogen can be in the form of the fuel, and also because for combustion we need air, and air you all know that is the mixture of oxygen and nitrogen, 77% by volume nitrogen and 23% approximately oxygen. So, when we react a fuel with the air, what will happen? The nitrogen present in the air is also oxidized to oxides of nitrogen. So, nitrogen oxides are coming out from the combustion because of two things, either in the fuel borne nitrogen or from the air. Then lead is the problem with the SI engine, because lead is added tetraethyl lead in form of some additives, dopes. In coming lecture we will discuss it. So, that lead tetraethyl lead is mixed with the petrol to enhance its combustion quality. So, that is also comes out during the combustion. And the particulate emissions, it is the major source of diesel engines, because I have told you that this combustion depends upon lots of things, the combustion products depends upon lots of things, because they are coming from the engine, and that engine either is external engine or internal engine, or if it is internal combustion engine, either it is SI engine or diesel engine or any form of another form of any engine. So, particulate matter is the comes out in the diesel engine, it is a major source of a diesel engine. Then smoke is also a source of diesel engine, and other these are the some regulated emissions, because they are governed by some regulations. Other emissions are also there, and these emissions are many emissions, and these emissions are lots of emissions are there. So, now engine pollutant sources and types. So, engine emissions can be classified into two categories. Number 1, exhaust emissions and non exhaust emissions. So, if we talk about the exhaust emissions, these are, we have discussed it, the unburnt hydrocarbons, oxides of carbon, carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide, oxides of nitrogen, nitrogen oxide and NO2, oxides of sulfur, sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide, and sulfur is found in diesel. So, in diesel engine oxides of sulfur are coming out in the emissions. Also in thermal power plants it is a problem, and the particulates, soot and smoke, these are also problem in diesel engine. So, we all know that India is a diesel driven economy, the economy is based upon the diesel. So, if we talk about India, then automobile sector is having more diesel vehicle as compared to petrol. So, in India if we talk that the particulate, soot, smoke, oxides of sulfur, oxides of nitrogen, these are the major emissions found. And because if we talk about only the automobile sector, then so the pollutant source and types, you can see The pollutant we have discussed, hydrocarbon, carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxide emissions. These emissions depends upon different engine operating conditions. For example, this figure you can, figure 1 you can see that figure 1 shows the variation of hydrocarbon, carbon monoxide and nitrogen oxide emissions as a function of equivalence ratio for an SI engine. It is clearly seen that all the 3 emissions are a strong function of equivalence ratio. Equivalence ratio is nothing, only you can representation of fuel air ratio. I have already told you that for combustion we need air. So, what is the proportion of fuel and air? It is a representation of that. So, fuel air ratio it is symbolized as phi. So, you can see phi 1 means chemically correct. If we go less than 1, it is lean mixture, if we go more than 1, it is rich mixture. So, you can see from this diagram amount of emissions in exhaust flow on y axis, and on x axis phi is given. So, you can see for different hydrocarbon emissions are keep increasing as phi increases, because fuel proportion increases. So, if we fuel proportion increases, there may be more fuel as compared to air. So, the chemically correct fuel will be burned and remaining will be either evaporated from the crankcase, or it may be evaporated from the tank, or it may be exhaust out from the tailpipe. So, hydrocarbon emissions. If we talk about NOx, nitrogen oxide, you can see this is some parabolic nature, and it increases as phi increases, and it is maximum at near about of the value of chemically correct phi is equal to 1. Practically it is at phi equal to 1.1. So, if the phi is near about 1, then NOx emission is maximum, and if we further increase phi, means we are using rich mixture, then NOx emissions are reduces. Similarly, you can see the carbon monoxide emissions. The carbon monoxide emissions also increases, follow the same pattern as of hydrocarbon emission with respect to phi. Figure 2 shows the similar pattern for NOx, CO and hydrocarbon, as it is shows a qualitative picture of hydrocarbon, carbon monoxide, NOx emissions with respect to equivalence ratio phi for a 4-stroke diesel engine. It is the representation for a diesel engine. As can be seen from hydrocarbon will decrease slightly with the increase in phi due to higher cylinder temperature, making it easier to burn up any over mixed, very lean or under mixed rich fuel air mixture. So, you can see the pattern for diesel engine somewhat different from the pattern of the SI engine. Why it is different? Because the combustion technology of diesel engine is somewhat different from SI engine, because in SI engine already carbureted mixture comes into the combustion chamber, but in diesel engine it is work on the principle of auto ignition. So, because of these different technologies, the pattern is different. You can see these are the sources of pollutants: power plants, automobiles, industry, domestic fuel consumption also. You can see the pollutants from gasoline engines. I have already discussed. These are 4 possible sources of atmospheric pollution from a petrol engine powered vehicle. The first is fuel tank, I have told you. The carburetor, because in carburetor is that part where fuel and air are mixed. The crankcase is the space where all these equipments are packed, crank and all these things. So, in that also the possibility of emissions, and the exhaust pipe, but the major is the exhaust pipe. You can see the contribution, evaporative loss is 15 to 25% source of hydrocarbon from both tank and carburetor. Crankcase blow by, you can see 20 to 35% of hydrocarbon, tailpipe exhaust 50 to 60% of hydrocarbon and almost all CO and NOx emissions. So, CO and NOx are coming out only in the tailpipe exhaust, but hydrocarbon can be felt from other sources also, like in evaporative loss and crankcase blow by. So, these are the effect of environment on human health. Air pollution is a major concern of new civilized world, which has a serious toxicological impact on human health and environment. It has a number of emission sources, but motor vehicles and industrial processes contribute the major part of air pollution. So, according to WHO organization, 6 major air pollutants include particle pollution, ground level ozone, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxide and lead. We have already discussed this. Long and short term exposure to air suspended toxicants has a different toxicological impact on human, including respiratory and cardiovascular. So, the emission impact is major on respiratory, cardiovascular and neuropsychiatric complications, and you can feel some eye irritation, skin diseases and long chronic diseases such as cancers also. Some studies also found that Alzheimer's and Parkinson diseases and autism, retinopathy, fetal growth, these are also found because of the air pollution. These are air pollution borne, because human cannot be without air for a second. So, this is the main source. Now, come to the first emission as per the syllabus. I am taking the formation of NOx. NOx X is variable here, oxides of nitrogen, the X value may be 1, maybe 2, maybe 3. So, it is the combinedly we have written that NOx. So, exhaust emission, tailpipe exhaust emission, these are the major source of automotive emissions, and petrol consists of mixture of various hydrocarbons, and we could get perfect combustion, then the exhaust would consist only of carbon dioxide and water vapor. Because if there will be complete combustion means or combustion efficiency 100%, then in the tailpipe exhaust emission there will be 100% carbon dioxide and water vapor. But if we measure the emissions with the help of some devices, these devices are exhaust gas analyzers or a smoke meter. So, if we measure, so there are numerous gases are coming out because of the inefficiency of the combustion. So, carbon monoxide and hydrocarbon, and third main pollutant is the oxides of nitrogen. The air supply to the combustion contains 77% of nitrogen, we have already discussed, and because we know that the combustion, during the combustion the temperature of the combustion chamber is very high, and if it is reached above 1000 or 1100 degrees Celsius, so it promotes the formation of oxides of nitrogen, which is very harmful gas. It is having very serious effects on the humans, and we will discuss it on later slides. So, petrol also contains, we all know that we add some tetraethyl lead, which added the increase the anti-knock quality, or that is called or octane number. So, lead is also comes out from the SI engine, and tail engine exhaust also contains compounds of lead which are poisonous. The combination of hydrocarbon and NOx in the presence of sunlight, because hydrocarbon and NOx both are coming in the exhaust. So, these combination in the presence of sunlight at certain atmospheric conditions produce photochemical smog, 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 not smoke. So, when hydrocarbon and NOx both combined in the presence of sunlight, so you will feel some hazy atmosphere, or you feel some fog. So, that is called smog. It is a combination of smoke and fog. So, it is smog. The NOx concentration in exhaust is affected by engine design and mode of vehicle operation. So, NOx is, it is not hard and fast rule that NOx in a certain amount, it is measured in ppm, parts per million, in the in a exhaust gas analyzer. So, its concentration is affected by engine design and mode of vehicle operation, and air fuel ratio and spark advance are the two important factors which significantly affect NOx emissions. So, to control the NOx, so air fuel ratio and spark advance are the two important factors which significantly affect NOx. This is the formation of NOx phenomena in cylinder NOx generation. You can see here it generates in diesel engine for both premixed and diffusion combustion. We have discussed the combustion different phases, ignition, delay, premixed and diffusion combustion. So, NOx is generated during these different phases, and mostly NOx problem is in the diesel engine. There is also a problem in petrol engine, but the major threat is diesel engine. The formation of, you can see the formation of NOx, we have discussed that NOx formation depends upon the air fuel ratio, and if the air fuel ratio varies between 14 to 16, the NOx is formed maximum. We have discussed, or you can see the last slides, the equivalence ratio, you can connect through the equivalence ratio. So, air fuel ratio when it varies from 14 to 16 between, then the NOx form is maximum. So, at lean and rich fuel air mixture, the NOx concentration is comparatively low. If you operate your engine with leaner mixture or richer mixture, then mean phi is either not at 1.1 value. So, the comparative NOx will be there, but the concentration of that NOx will be lesser. And also the other thing is that increasing the ignition advance will result in lower peak combustion temperature, because we know that the NOx is a function of temperature. So, if we able to control that temperature, peak temperature, then NOx formation concentration can be reduced. So, increasing the ignition advance will result in lower peak combustion temperature and higher exhaust temperature. This will result in high NOx concentration in the exhaust. So, we can go for some retrofitting of the engine by some increasing ignition advance some degree before. This is the another diagram which represent the photochemical smog mechanism. Now, this is the emission control of NOx. So, there are lots of methods I am discussed in the next slide. The following are the three methods: exhaust recirculation, water injection and catalyst. A copper catalyst have used in the presence of CO for this purpose. Then hydrocarbon emissions, you can see we have discussed the tailpipe emissions are the major source of hydrocarbon emission, about 50 to 60% we have discussed it. These are some slides. Hydrocarbon mechanism, to reduce the coal metal surface, we are able to increase the hydrocarbon emissions. These are the some emission control program for hydrocarbon emissions. We can go for either engine modification or treatment of exhaust gases, and another method is the fuel modification. The engine emission control, you can see that engine emission control here, that how this engine is emission can be controlled, effect of design and operating variables on exhaust emissions and engine air flow. So, use of linear air fuel ratio, retarding ignition timing, we have discussed it. Modification of combustion chamber, lower compression ratio, because lowering the compression ratio it reduces the maximum temperature in the cycle. Reduced valve overlap, alternation in induction system. If we design the proper induction system, we can able to reduce the hydrocarbon emission. And second is treatment of exhaust gases. We will discuss this in detail in the lecture 23. So, you can see that after treatment means you will employ some afterburners, or you will employ some catalytic converter. There is some chemistry behind this, and the effect is the hydrocarbon and carbon monoxide emissions are reduced. So, these were the some slides for treatment of exhaust gases, and so we are able to discuss all these things one by one. That one important thing is there, that you can see from this diagram that hydrocarbon emissions, here you can see the air also a function of air fuel ratio, and it is also measured in part per million. Or if in case of this hydrocarbon emission is measured in per kilometer generation of the ppm, ppm per kilometer. If we talk about stationary engine, that engine may be stationary, engine may be automobile. So, if it is a stationary engine, then it is measured in some gram per gram of particular emissions per kilowatt hour. So, the hydrocarbon emissions, you can see from here that this is the curve for hydrocarbon emission, and it is, if we increase the air fuel ratio, it is reduces, and at a certain point approximately chemically correct condition, it is minimum. So, the in chemically correct condition, the hydrocarbon is minimum, but you can see here that at the same time the NOx emission is somewhat heavy. So, there should be some trade off between hydrocarbon emission and NOx emissions, means both should be in the moderate range. So, it is not useful that you are able to find lowest hydrocarbon emission, you operate the engine at this point, but you are not able to you are able to cut the NOx emissions. So, this was all about the different emissions, how it emissions comes, what are the sources of emissions, and we have discussed all these things for this lecture. In next lecture we will discuss other pollutants. Thank you so much.